Episode 79, Comfort versus Concern.
Good evening, I am Tomas Guevara. Welcome to my channel Rewriting the Reality. Subscribe to this channel to be informed of how we create our reality and how our actions affect other people.
In today's episode 79, I am going to touch two controversial themes.
But first let's explain the difference between comfort and concern. Your comfort is now.
Your comfort is in what you are doing, what you allow yourself to do.
Concern involves fear. Your concerns or your fears are involving future anticipated actions, whether it be that you fear what may be, or you fear what you may do, or what you may not accomplish, or where you will be. They are all concerns that are not associated with now, and they are speculations.
They are not real, and they interrupt your now. Your concerns, at times, rob you of your comfort, for you replace your comfort with concern, and the concern occupies your time and distracts you from accomplishing precisely what the concern is. I have been telling you the most important action that you all can engage in is to be present.
It is the most challenging action, because it is unfamiliar and difficult for most individuals to constantly be present. But in the present, your concerns disappear, for there is no concern in the present.
You are not dead, you are not dying, you are accomplishing, you are not destitute, and even if you were destitute, you may actually find comfort in that in your present. Being present is not a matter of merely being in the now. You can be aware of the now and not be present. You can be aware of what is occurring now, what surrounds you now, and what environment you are in now. You can even be aware of what you are doing now and not be present. You are not present with yourself, acknowledging your existence. But you are present when you are in your comfort and flowing.
I expressed previously, one of the greatest moments that individuals generally are present with themselves is if they are experiencing pain. For if they are experiencing pain, they focus quite strongly upon the discomfort, and they will be quite present with themselves. They are quite aware of their existence, for it hurts. But when you are expressing genuine comfort, you are also present. It is a matter of allowing yourselves to recognize your comfort and hold to that present, not allowing future anticipations to interrupt it, to allow yourself to appreciate each moment regardless of what you are doing. Whether you are brushing your teeth, whether you are driving in your vehicle, whether you are sitting in a chair, it matters not.
It is a matter of moving your perception to what is and flowing. Our perception is very influenced by associations that we generate. Many of those associations are not connected to the now.
They may be past associations, they may be future associations, but many of them are not connected to the now.
You do not always think of associations.
Therefore, they are not as prominent. Although they are expressed prominently, they may not be recognized as prominently.
But they are very influencing on our perception, and that is what creates our reality.
In this, if you allow yourself to be present with yourself, you can notice in any situation what your associations are, for they also prompt your responses, your actions, and how you interact or do not interact. Many times, individuals will express in certain manners that they incorporate strong associations with, but they may not be aware of why.
Those associations that they generate may not actually be valid, but they are automatic.
They may incorporate no actual connection to yourself, and what you are doing or not doing, but they influence you in how you view other individuals.
We all incorporate what we term to be values.
Values are a part of our guidelines. They influence our behavior, they influence how we interact, they also influence how we see our world, and they influence how we see and interact with other individuals. Many of our supposed values are associations. An individual may express in their own comfort the choice to be generating a relationship with another individual of the other sex, of the other gender, therefore a man and a woman. That individual may not generate a thought process in relation to any other type of intimate relationship or romantic relationship, but they may incorporate an association that any other type of intimate romantic relationship is wrong. Also, if they are presented with an individual that is a man or a woman that creates an intimate romantic relationship with an individual that is an adolescent, not what would be considered as an adult, the individual may generate an automatic association that this type of relationship is wrong. It is not in their comfort, and therefore their automatic association is that this relation is wrong. An individual may commune with nature, and another individual may destroy forests. That would generate an automatic association that it is wrong. The reason it is wrong is that it threatens our comfort, and we push away. Whatever threatens our comfort, we oppose. This is the reason that it is so very important to be present, because being present allows us to identify what our associations are and whether they are valid. Let's see the example of an individual that chooses to engage a romantic relationship with what we would term as minor. I would say that most individuals that are watching this video would be in agreement that they would view that as wrong or inappropriate, but you are not engaging in that action. Therefore, it is not threatening your comfort, because you are not doing it. You are not involving yourself with the action, even if you are privy to it. But to justify your comfort, you judge the actions of other individuals, and these are the expressions that interrupt your comfort and block acceptance. This is a fine example, for it will invoke those types of thoughts and those types of feelings in most individuals, and that is the point. It is an illustration of how we respond, how we react. It is not our responsibility to protect adolescents. It is not our responsibility to fix a situation. You are not an adolescent. You are not experiencing what he or she is experiencing. You are not generating the choices that he or she is generating. I am not expressing an example, although I may have, of a minor being molested, which I recognize would invoke even stronger opposition with all of us. What I presented was an individual engaging in a romantic, intimate relationship with what we would turn out to be adolescents, and that is different. We must always remember that adolescents express choices also. We as adults are not the only individuals in our reality that generate choices. Every individual within our reality, from the moment they are born, is generating choices. I would say to you, if any individuals encounter very small children presently, you will notice how strongly they express their choices and how direct they are. I presented this example purposefully, for this is an example that you will notice your automatic response and your association. This is purposeful, for you each do this in many, many different expressions. You incorporate automatic associations, and you justify them. Just as you may be an individual that values peace and harmony and calmness, if you are presented with a terrorist, you will automatically generate an association that they are wrong, and that will invoke you in promptings or wanting to protect. When you can genuinely be present with yourself, it is not a matter of being indifferent, it is not a matter of not caring. It is a matter of recognizing what your reality is and what another individual's reality is. If they generate different choices from yourself, that is not to say that they are wrong. In reality, they are equally as right as you are in your reality, and they can present many individuals that will agree with their choices. It's the same with your choices, since you can present other people that will agree with your choices. In that, what is right? Who is right? All of us engage much time and much effort attempting to be or being accepting. We interrupt that each time we justify our comfort and make a judgment in association with another individual's actions or choices. I have said many times, it is not necessary to agree with any other individual to be accepting. You each continue to incorporate your own preferences and your own opinions and your own guidelines that are good or right for you. But by expressing the judgment of other individuals in their choices, you block your acceptance, and I would say that every individual watching this video at this present moment wants to be accepted. By accepting I mean accepting yourself and the other person. Because when you accept your own comfort and do not allow that to be threatened and being present with it, you accept yourself and thus can be accepting of other individuals in their differences. Another example, I can say that I have a few friends that we insultingly call homosexuals. When I first started to talk to them, I felt somehow threatened by their sexual preference. As I grew closer to them in a real friendship, I knew I was moving in the direction of a working relationship with them. This can happen to many people, especially if you admire the other person for some personal reasons. The other person's personality and his or her choices could become a delight to you, because once you stop being threatened by them, the relationship changes, and if possible, you can be more intimate than a relationship that you have that's heterosexual. You can be friends with no boundaries or demands, and you would not feel threatened. This is a fine example, for it is an illustration of how you rob yourself of your comfort. You generate a judgment in association to another individual, and your comfort is threatened. Rather than acknowledging it or protecting it, you rob yourself of it. You push your own comfort away. Remember that the concern overrides the expression of comfort. We all are aware of the situation between Israel and Palestine. If you do not agree with terrorism, you don't need to be wielding a gun in opposition to it. This is what I have expressed. It is not necessary to agree to be accepted. In that, you can incorporate your opinion that in your preferences, in your opinion, this action of terrorism is a wrong action. But regardless of whether you express in your opinion that it is wrong or not, you are not actively engaging actions to oppose it. That is not to say that you are not caring. Even in the example that has been offered with the minor, you may not agree, and you would not engage in that action, therefore, you are not participating in that. You may generate a judgment that in your reality, in your opinion, that is wrong, but you also are not engaging in it. Even with the subject of terrorists, the individuals that are terrorists believe as strongly as you that they are right. As strongly as you believe they are wrong, they believe they are right, and this is the reason that they engage the actions. That is the duplicity that I mentioned in episode 11. Duplicity is not being eliminated, but in being present, you can relax it. You can relax it in recognition that we are creating all our reality. In that, each of us is generating choices to express our comfort and not allowing other choices to threaten that, which creates this domino effect, in which once your comfort is threatened, you generate automatic associations. You justify, you judge, and you ignore acceptance, for acceptance is no longer an option at that point. Let's see another example. Somebody's drowning. 3 people are watching nearby, one is Hindu, one is Buddhist, and the other is you, a Christian person. The Hindu says it is karma, the Buddhist says it is an illusion, and meanwhile someone is drowning. You say it's God's choice. All 3 come to the conclusion that they might as well let him drown. But you don't pay attention that there is an aspect of it, that you are there for a reason. You created that situation for a reason. It may be your preference to try to help, and it may be foolish of you not to. If you decide not to help because of some theoretical concept, you may regret it for the rest of your life. You have placed yourself in that situation. Therefore, you have created that in your reality. Therefore, you would most likely automatically respond and attempt to help. However, this is not what I am expressing. This is not the point, for you are in that situation, in that scenario, in that example. In the example that I offered, none of you are in that situation, and you have not created that type of scenario in your experience. Usually, we are artificially accepting. Genuinely accepting is recognizing what you are creating, what you are actually drawing to yourself, what you are doing. In these types of scenarios, you have placed yourself in that position, therefore, you will respond. Expressing those other individuals creates their reality, and therefore I need not concern myself with whatever they are doing. This is a false acceptance. This is an excuse. This is not genuine acceptance. If another individual presents themselves to you and requests help, will you express to them, "No, sorry, I will not help you, for you create all your reality and therefore it is not necessary for myself to help you"? First, you must understand that you have drawn that individual to yourself.
I am not expressing that if you drew a scenario to yourself in which you placed yourself in a situation in which a child is being assaulted and you are present, or perhaps not even a child, another individual, and you are present, you have placed yourself in that position for a reason. But this is not the point of what I am expressing this day. What I am presenting to you on this day are associations and how your own guidelines influence you in events that are not occurring. Regardless of whether you are presenting yourself with a situation or not, many associations interrupt you and your comfort, and they are not occurring. They are assumed. Some associations that we generate, we are quite aware of. Some we may not necessarily be entirely aware of. We are aware, but it may be covered, it may be camouflaged. Therefore, it may not be as obvious, but it will be triggered by some outside expression, generally when another individual generates some action that triggers one of those camouflaged associations. These are the associations that can interrupt our comfort and can be dangerous, for they are not associations that we generate continuously. Just as beliefs, they are always present, but we may not always be expressing them. This is the reason that I chose the example of the adolescent, because it would be unlikely that any of us would present that type of scenario to ourselves in a continuous manner. Therefore, without the presentment of it in another individual's choices, we may not necessarily be continuously aware that we do generate such a strong association with that action or with those choices, for we are not presenting it to ourselves in our reality. But we may present it to ourselves as an example with another individual, and in that situation, we may generate a response or reaction and not know what the mechanics of it are. We will merely generate the assessment right or wrong, but not know what motivates that or what the association is, what the mechanics of that action, of that reaction, are. It is very black and white. It is either right or wrong, and in that, there is no room for acceptance. Remember that each one of us creates our reality, and that each reality is different. Which is our choice, our free will. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel.